Yo, what's up guys, John Boogle here, and here we go with the Into the Future Chapter 2 Great Abyss guide. The stage is a pretty big joke, so we'll go through it pretty quick here. Main thing here, I have at least 4 to 3 meat shields or stallers, and the two legends here, Bahamut and Udurun Wolf, can be replaced by any Ubers you might have. That goes with both of the attackers in this lineup as well. Yeah, pretty much any Uber will work in this stage. I mean, it's either going to be their job to wipe out the cyber horns or to just tank some hits from the Nyandam and push on it. Because this stage is basically Chapter 2 Moon, but the alien version. So you could apply the same strat from Chapter 2 Moon into this stage, but instead of bringing anti-raids, this time you're going to be bringing anti-aliens. But just know, Bahamut and both Wolf can be easily replaced by almost any Uber. Now for your attackers here, in this lineup example, we're using Crazed Whale. I made a guide on how to get Crazed Whale very early in the game, basically right after Empire of Cats 3. But if you don't have Crazed Whale, don't stress. Once again, any attacker could pretty much replace Crazed Whale here. Paris Cat, you could use anti-aliens here, you can use Cameraman if you do have the true form, you can use Ramen if you have it. Even if you don't have Ramen or true form Artist, you could just throw in Artist as well. Can or Hip Hop Cat's true form, Sushi Cat can work here, Hacker can work here, Sadako could even work here kind of with its high health. Butterfly, a amazing option with its high single target damage and great health and rebound. And Ring Girl can be used as a general attacker. Drama Cats, same like Paris. And of course, Castaway is pretty much the go-to slot in unit for the stage. So if you do have Castaway, definitely do use it. Not only is it a good attacker against aliens here, but also can freeze and have that extra crowd control effect. It also survive a hit as well. But yeah, there's just countless replacements. Volter Cat can work, Fencer Cat can work, Nymph Cat can work. If you don't have Crazed Cats, don't stress out because there's plenty of replacements. But I do highly recommend getting Crazed Whale because it is super easy to get and it will help you through a lot of stages. Of course, Saw Cat is a behemoth of a unit for Into the Future as a whole, and even in some Cats of the Cosmos stages, especially those pesky restriction stages near the end where you need those high cost units. It's the opposite the other way too. If you don't have some gachas or the key gachas or just great general attackers, then you can just use Crazed Cats. I made guides on how to get every single Crazed Cat with level 25 units, so you can use those and get yourself some Crazed Cats if you are too worried. But this stage is a joke anyways. And yes, if you're wondering, Pogo Cat and Wheel Cat can work here as well. Psycho Cat can also help tremendously if you are struggling with these Cyberhorn waves. And if you pair that up with Majika Cat, that could create a nice combo there as well. A crowd control combo, not a cat combo. But yeah, the other slot in unit for this stage other than Castaway is Rover. This will basically be your best friend throughout Into the Future and some of Cats of the Cosmos as well. More so after True Form. I probably don't have to mention this, but I will just in case. If you have Courier, just use it. It will body the stage. I did make a guide on how to get Courier early on as well, so if you want to use that, it's right there. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the brief lineup explanation. You can bring cat combos if needed, like you can bring defense up combos or attack up combos. The defense combos does help in this stage, so if you have them, you can use it. But wait, the most important part, even more important than your lineup and your cat levels, is the treasures. And in this guide, we don't even have 100% crystals over here. So this is just an example of what you can do, but I do advise just getting it 100% first. It will make it way easier. If you have 100% crystal, and of course if you have your previous treasures maxed out in the previous chapters, you can body this stage with level 20 units very easily. But yeah, it's very important to note it is not only the chapter 2 crystal, but make sure you do have chapter 1 treasures all complete. And that goes for Empire of Cats chapter 1, 2, and 3 as well. Alright, let's hop into the guide. It is basically, like I said before, Chapter 2 Moon, but the alien version. So the exact same strategy applies here. If you don't remember it, you can go check it out, or you can just listen here, because I'll just explain it again. Basically, there's going to be multiple waves of cyber horns, the alien one horns or the alien rhinos. And These waves will be your windows in between where you can attack the Nyandam. What you don't want to do is over push and just keep pushing into Nyandam, and then the one horn or the cyber horn wave arrives, and then you just get crushed and you have no money and you can't defend yourself. What you want to do is kind of just stall it out and wait for the one horn wave to arrive. And as you can see in the beginning here, only one comes out, and it gradually increases the longer you stay in the stage to a max of about 2 per wave, and that only happens twice. But even with low levels and not 100% crystal here, we're not going to be seeing the second wave of 2 usually. But yeah, same strat applies. Lure out the one horn or the cyber horn, alien rhino, lure it out, and then start killing it. You should start doing this as soon as you see it come out, so when it comes out, just ease off on your attackers and your stallers and just let it push up a little bit. Then once it gets up far away enough from Nyandam's range, then you can start stacking up your attackers like we are here, or just using Crazed Whale and such. Now, it is important to not use your Ubers or your Legends here yet, because you do want to save them when the Cyberhorns come in 2 pairs. So the first wave is just one Cyberhorn, and that's this one right here. And the next wave is also going to be just one Cyberhorn. But the wave after that is when it's going to start spawning 2 at a time. That is when you want to use your Legends or your Ubers. Now, of course, if you're just using Rusher type Ubers, you can just bombard Nyandam, and I'll show examples of that later. But yeah, if you're not, then you're gonna have to use the time in between these Cyberhorn waves to get some damage on Nyandam. Not having the 100% crystal here does make our damage output pretty low compared to what it would be, but it's still manageable for now. Now, this is the second wave, it's still 1, and the wave after this one is gonna start coming in 2s. I did send out my Bahamut here because we're doing this with not maxed out treasure and level 25 units, so Nyandam didn't get knocked back in that damage window, which would happen for you if you do have the 100% crystal. But if you do feel unsafe, you can for sure just use your Legend or Uber like this to just quickly wipe out the Cyberhorn. In this case, we still have Udodun Wolf ready for the 2 wave, or the wave of 2 Cyberhorns. But after this Cyberhorn is dead, we do have to make an effort to knock back Nyandam here in this damage window. So that is exactly what we do here, and we could probably knock him back a bit more times. A level 20 Bahamut surviving there is pretty surprising as well. But yeah, every time there is not a Cyberhorn in field or on field in between the waves, that is your chance to just push hard. And we're using Crazed Whale the Goat as our main pusher here. Like if we had Castaway here, we would be using that. Swimmer, Rover, Can, all those units we would be using to push. But yeah, here is the next wave, and this is the one, yeah, it spawns 2 on this wave. So this is the one where you gotta use your Legend or Uber to just wipe them out as quick as possible. Because even if this stage is a big joke, without max treasures, it does get very risky with this low level units. So yes, I will remind you here again, make sure to get all the treasures. It does make a huge difference. Now once again, just lure out. You do not want to fight it in Nyandam's range and just waste cash. Now Udodun Wolf is kind of risky here because it can knock back the Cyberhorns into Nyandam's range, so that's a risk there. But it's pretty much all we can use here because we did use our Bahamut earlier. So if you are using Wolf, just keep in mind that it can knock back the Cyberhorns into Nyandam's range, which will cause all of your units to move forward into Nyandam's attack and just get killed. So knockback crowd control units is definitely a huge risk in this stage. That's why Castaway is such a unit for this stage, because it has that freeze, the survive, the good damage, survivability on top of its survive chance. It is pretty much the ultimate unit for Great Escaper and Floating Continent. But yeah, as you can see here, even with Wolf, it got real close here. We have a huge parastack there. Crazed Whales and Dragons are stacking up, but it also came real close. It just goes to show how much treasures really does impact everything. Now here is our damage window. We have a couple seconds here to just lay hell on Nyandam here with Crazed Whale. So that is what we're going to do, and try to get knockback and just reset for the last Cyberhorn wave. Now if you're doing this with the max treasures, which you should be, Nyandam is probably dead here, and you won't have to see the next wave of the 2 Cyberhorns, but even if you have like below level 25 units, this is pretty accurate because yeah, even here with 75% crystal, we were able to kill Nyandam before the last wave of Cyberhorns arrived. But yeah, as you can see, right as we got to the base in this run, the last wave of Cyberhorns came out. So basically, we did just manage to skip by the Cyberhorn wave in this run. If you have the treasures maxed, you'll have no issue at all. But yeah, let's hop into some other quick example lineups and we'll wrap up the guide. Also, that superior treasure clutch on the first try is pretty nice. Now in this example, we're using a much more aggressive lineup here with Swimmer and Castaway. And the same strategy applies here, it's just that in between those waves of Cyberhorns, the window of damage and the damage that's being done with this lineup is just much greater. Swimmer can also help with these Cyberhorns with its huge single target damage, and with its higher health and knockbacks, it could act as a rebound type unit to just get huge amounts of damage in a short period of time. You can see here just how different the push is after we kill the Cyberhorn. It is super aggressive here. Crazed Whale is also definitely a behemoth for this stage and a lot of the stages into the future. But here you can really see its value with its high health and damage output, even if it's not against reds. But yeah, if you get lucky enough with Castaway, you can just stun lock Nyandam with freezes and just constantly bombard Nyandam. And yeah, look at that. We didn't even get to see the double Cyberhorn wave. Speaking of aggressive lineups here, this time we're using Courier, and of course the help of Crazed Cat is crucial here if you do not have the gachas, and Crazed Titan is a behemoth for this stage in that case. Crazed Titan does basically play the same role as Crazed Whale here, but just with way higher cost and a bit more health and some more damage output. But Crazed Whale just has so much more value, so over time Crazed Whale's damage output will be way higher, and of course it's way more cost efficient as well. But if you have Crazed Titan, you can definitely use it in this stage, and that goes for pretty much all the Crazed Cats, even Crazed Legs. We used Crazed Giraffe in the previous lineup. Crazed UFO can help shred the Cyberhorn waves pretty quick as a Paris replacement. Crazed Dragon can work here as well. And these are still with 75% crystal, so if you do have the 100% crystal, it just becomes a massive joke. But yeah, no surprise, Courier destroys the stage. But yeah, for our final example here is a Rusher Uber lineup and Balrog. Basically the slot in Rusher Uber for this stage, because yeah, Balrog can completely decimate this stage. Same with Ubers like Kai or pretty much any high health Uber that can tank a couple hits works very good in this stage. Balrog with its extreme high single target damage here is just insanity, and you can see that right there. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this guide. Drop a like if this guide helped you out, of course. Subscribe if you're new. Join the hashtag Boogle gang. But yeah, that's it. It's been John Boogle, and see ya.